Hello, my fellow viewers and subscribers. This is Supercholatemilkshake, and I am here talking about a camera roll that I made with this camera right here, the Panasonic Lumix. Now, of course, to give you a little bit of a story with this camera, basically I bought it within pretty much the last couple of years with some of my saved up money. It cost me right around $200 when I got it. Probably costs more right now, but it does have like a 16x zoom, which is like 20 to 1200 times or millimeters when it comes down to it, which actually isn't all that bad, but it's kind of limited. But hey, I gotta work with my limitations like my dad says, so I kind of wanted to take this camera out for a bit of a spin a little bit more frequent, so I've been going out and taking some more photos. However, these are some of the more older photos I took, and this is actually one that I took for, well, promotion for my dad's other channel, which is a 7-ton in Wyoming. Now, of course, just so you know, I have shouted him out a couple of times on this channel, though, to be fair, he still hasn't shouted me out, despite the fact that I've done some work for him. Oh yeah, this is also a photo I took of the same day, too. This is also, Hero, the one dog that died recently. I do miss him. I miss him a lot. But yeah, this is kind of him giving like a pouty face, going like, "Why aren't you throwing more sticks into the water for me?" You know? And you know, it's just one of those hilarious moments with dogs. Okay, here's a good comparison of how big this truck really is. Yeah, the Jeep is pretty big compared to the Escape in the back, but the Escape looks like a toy to both of them. The Jeep kind of starts to look a bit more like a toy too. So yeah, I figured it'd be a fun photo to take. Also, this is another interesting photo too, taken in Winton, South Dakota. Actually, this was on a vacation at one time, and this was outside the house that we were lodged in. I found this car kind of interesting with how it was buried inside the trees out like that. It's not there anymore though. They did actually pull that out, but I'll talk a little bit more about that later on inside this. Alright, and then of course I also had to take a photo of the room that I was sitting in. Don't know why I'm showing this here. You know, I feel like 24 seconds wasn't long enough for some of these in the descriptions that I'm given, but oh well. I'm working with what I got to work with here. I'm kind of doing this in a bit of a slideshow format. Sorry if it's a little boring for you folks. Anyway, this is also a nice little picture that I took of a tree that was growing in my grandma and grandpa's backyard. I thought it actually looked kind of lovely with the light shining down on it, so I decided to take a quick little picture of it. And again, this was also in Winton, South Dakota as well. Again, I took quite a few photos on that. I'm not showing them all here, but, you know. And then, well, I forget what this thing is, but I thought it looked kind of neat, nestled within the bushes and the trees and all that. And, you know, again, it's probably one of those photos I took to have memories of Winton, South Dakota, because Grandma was starting to make plans of moving out at this point. But, well, other things happened. This was also the house that we were lodged in, too. Actually, it's a very nice place to stay, and you know what? The owner was actually pretty nice, too. We got to stay there again shortly after, well, my grandpa died, and she let us stay there for free, actually, and that was a nice thing for her to do. Sarah and Krista also liked it there, too, if I remember correctly. Oh, here's another picture that can make me cry. Hero and Jasmine. Now, in case you're wondering, Jasmine is the one that's closest to us. Hero is the one that's furthest away from us. It's kind of hard to tell the difference between the two because they look so similar, but that's because they pretty much had the same mom and dad and ended up having the same color pattern for their coats. But they're both beautiful puppies, and you know what? We loved them both. Oh man, we miss Hero so much. I'm sorry. These photos were taken long before we knew that he had cancer, like about a year. He started developing arthritis by then, but we were taking him out for like weekly walks anyway, just to make sure that arthritis gets worked out of him. And actually, it was probably for the best. Of course, he was also enjoying some swims with his younger sister. I shouldn't say older. I have older sisters. He has the younger one. But yeah. I mean, I'm glad that Jasmine is still here with us. She does fill the void just a bit. And, you know, she's always great to have for company. She always seems to make me laugh. And then here's another size comparison in between the Nissan and the big old diesel that Dad drives around, the 7-ton. And then, I don't know if that's Hero or Jasmine in the shot. It looks a little bit more like Jasmine to me, but it's kind of hard to tell. I don't know. It looks kind of like a small little pixel on my screen here, but oh well. Whoops! I forgot to put the fade there. Thank goodness I could edit this on the fly. There we go. Anyway, this is also another picture of Hero, and again, this one I also look familiar to you guys too if you played Scaling Up the Hero, because that was a tribute game to him because he died shortly before the process of that game started to be made. Also, here's a quick photo of the last day I actually worked at Taco John's. This is actually taken just right outside my house, actually. Yeah, I know, what a view, right? It was a beautiful day, okay? It was a beautiful sunrise, and you know what? I enjoyed every second of it. Okay, and then this is a quick Christmas photo that I made, I think, for all you guys. I think I released it on this channel, and my and of course my Discord. You guys all knew I had a Discord, right? But yeah, I released this for my Discord and such. I don't know why it ended up inside this photo reel. But this was also shot with that camera too, just so you know. Fun fact. Anyway, this is also just outside of the lake, the Glendo Lake, if I remember correctly. I took 2 shots, one on this side of the bridge, one on the other. This is just after the dam, by the way. And honestly, I thought it was just a nice, quiet, peaceful place and makes for a nice, calm picture, actually. I mean, I don't know if it's the most pleasant to look at. I'll let you guys judge about that, but... Oh yeah, here's the other one, too. It's kind of like a wetlands type of thing. Like, there's frogs that croak there. There's also, like, plenty of fish that swim around in there. Ducks and geese hopping to land in there. And then, of course, also further down the river, there's also snakes. Yeah, we've had several encounters with snakes over there. Oh, yes, and then this is a picture of the moon. This is actually the night when the Aurora Borealis was actually right over Douglas, and that was really cool. I did try to take a couple shots with this, but my camera wasn't low light enough to take the shots, so unfortunately I decided to shoot the moon. And I succeeded in some way, shape, or form. Okay, I don't even know what this photo's about. I'm just going to give this the shortest amount of time. I don't even know what I was thinking when I took this. Okay, please, get this out of my face. Now, 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 get it out of my face. Thank you. Anyway, this bird just kind of sat up and looked at me like, are you going to take a photo of me or what? Like, he was sitting there on the edge of the pond at Keith Ryder Park, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a photo. I don't know why he was expecting me to do that, but he just did. He just kind of looked at me going like, yep, just take it. Take it. This photo is sad. This is the last photo I took of Hero while he was alive. This is a photo that I took just so that I could have something to remember him by. I miss him. And you've probably seen it too if you've played Scaling Up the Hero, but, you know. Alright, moving on. This is actually a picture of a booth that my older sister happens to run. In fact, when it comes down to it, is she successful with it? Not the most, but, you know, she still tries, and I gotta give her compliments to that. I gotta give her credit, because, you know, at least she keeps pushing forward with it. And you know what? She keeps doing it, so I gotta give her credit. Oh, yes, and then I also took a picture of Sarge. Actually, this was at a car show, okay? So I'm going to be rambling on about this for the next several minutes. I gave these 15 seconds, but I took another one that's slightly better and got the trailer behind it, too, which also is pretty neat. That truck was retired and actually turned into a fire truck, and now it landed with us after we bought it on an auction. Whoops, did I forget to put a fade there, too? Shoot, I did. So anyway, I'm going to talk about the car show in Foodapalooza that I went to back in August of last year. I was supposed to do a video for it, but I didn't. I failed at that. So, of course, that Roller Coaster Tycoon video now, though, that I'm going to be releasing shortly after this, it's probably no longer going to be out of date since now I officially talked about the car show. No, nothing happened there, and I forgot to put my fade there again. Good grief. Good thing I can make edits on the fly with this program. Anyway, so, yeah, like I said, it was pretty cool. I got to talk to a lot of owners. In fact, you might have seen a Porsche earlier. I actually got to talk to that guy. He was really cool. And, of course, he owned the Porsche Boxster, which a lot of people say is an ugly Porsche car, but I gotta say, no. It's the 914 that's the ugliest Porsche car that's ever made. Period. End of story. It's the ugliest car that rolled off the production line, but neither here nor there. There's a lot of cool cars, ranging from the classic to modern eras, and actually quite a few old trucks there, too. Actually, there was this blue and camper one. I think it was already shown, but you know what? I also took some individual pictures. Actually, I love this one. the old sheriff's mobile over here. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I also took some others too. Like, I think I took some pictures of like a Plymouth Roadrunner, which, you know, I always want one of those. I've always wanted one of those, okay? I don't know why. It just, I think it's a cool car. And, like, you know, the term Roadrunner is just absolutely funny to me. I mean, like, really. And, of course, yes, there were a few cool Chevys that I liked, too, even though I'm more of a Ford guy. I will admit, there was a time when Chevys were actually pretty cool to look at as well. I mean, there is a time period where Chevys were cool to look at. And, to tell you the truth, I think, like, the 1950s, Chevy style, or the 1950s style of the Corvettes are actually pretty cool, too. Like, it's kind of sad that those cars just got uglier as time went on. But neither here nor there. Again, like, it was a lot of fun. And this is also being hosted by the guy I usually tend to buy the RC Cola from, by the way. So, yeah, big shout out to Rockin' Burgers and Dogs here. Anyway, I think we're getting close to the end of the car show photos here. And, yep, these are the photos that I took shortly after Grandpa died. Actually, when we went to Witten to do his celebration of life. It was a tough time for all of us. Like, I literally cried here. I really did cry at the event. I decided to take some time and take some photos of this town because now Grandma definitely is going to be moving out of there into Casper soon. So I just wanted to take a few photos to have some memories of this town because actually it is a fairly beautiful place. It's a nice little town that's hidden, recessed amongst the trees in the middle of South Dakota. And honestly, if you had the time to stop by and see or take a look, you can. Go right ahead. Stop by and look. I mean, it's mostly a farming town, more than likely, but neither here nor there. And, you know, like, it's going to be sad. I might not be able to come back to see this place again, but that's okay. Sometimes time moves forward. Time goes on, and sometimes you just got to let some things go. And, you know, as cool and neat as some of these old buildings are, and some of these old cars are, I mean, or, well, some of the old shots that I taken, like, sometimes it is just time to not worry about too much anymore, and just keep moving forward. So, yeah, like I said, Grandma's probably going to be moving up to Casper soon, and, you know, with that, I'm actually thinking that hopefully maybe I might use that as an ability to get up to Casper myself. I mean, I still need to find an apartment up there and live up there, and, you know, find a job so I can live up there, but, you know, neither here nor there. Though, of course, when it comes down to it, I'm probably going to be risking myself being very sleepy tomorrow, because I got to still put this video together, but neither here nor there. Again, like I said, I've kind of taken these just for memory reasons, and, you know, I just kind of want to remember the little town by, because it was a nice, quaint, little quiet town just off the highway. And, you know, again, recessed within a whole bunch of trees, and it's part of what makes the town look so beautiful. But neither here nor there. Oh, yes, and then this is the same car that I took when it was nestled back inside the trees. Like I said, they pulled it out and put it underneath this tree over here, which actually I thought was kind of neat, so I decided to take a better picture of it. Though I do think the exposure is just a little too much. Yeah, well, can't do much about it. Oh, yes, and then there's Jasmine, such a good girl. She was sitting there at the fence waiting for me, wagging her tail. I had my camera on me, so I was like, what the heck, take a quick picture of her. She's such a good girl. I love her. I love her so much. She was just so happy to see me because the girls wouldn't let her in. And then this is a Western Meadowlark. Okay, this is taken in most recently. And tell you the truth, this was actually taken through the big bay window that just got installed in our house. Like, yeah, quite literally, this was taken through glass. It's actually kind of miraculous that I was able to get this clear of a shot of the Meadowlark, but... Oh, yes, and then this is the crazy shot that I also caught of a blue heron. It doesn't look this bad in video form, but... you know, actually zoom in a little bit closer, and it looks kind of terrible because I was using digital zoom to capture this, but I was the only person that day who had a camera on me who was able to take a picture of that heron looking at me. So that was a lucky shot. Oh, yes, and then the geese and their goslings. Actually, I gotta admit, Mama and Papa here were actually pretty photogenic. Even though I'm pretty sure they were just keeping their eye on me so that I wouldn't hurt their goslings. Not that I would ever think about it. I know geese are sometimes chaotic creatures of nature. Not that, you know, Canadian geese are really all that bad. They can be pretty peaceful, but... Or at least they're the most peaceful of geese, I think. But anyway, neither here nor there. Again, at least they stood still for me, and you know what? I kind of appreciated the fact that I was also able to capture the goslings while they're still young, cute, and babies. And then here's a picture of a duck. Why? Because why not? It was sitting out in the middle of the Platte River, and I decided, you know what? Why not? Let's just take a picture of a duck. It will definitely make my niece happy. Okay, maybe she's not directly related to me because she's the daughter of my good friend, but neither here nor there. We're like brothers. And then this is a shot of Keith Ryder Park that I actually thought looked kind of nice. I think we're approaching the end of this photo reel here, but like I said, I thought it looked rather photogenic, so it's like, yeah, you know what? Why not? Just take a picture of it. And you know what? I was lucky. I got it right before a car passed by. Here's a waterfall that was actually located in Spearfish Canyon. On Memorial Day weekend, I decided to take this picture. Now, why was it Spearfish Canyon on Memorial Day weekend? Well, it's the route that we usually tend to take back from going from Belle Fourche back to home. Because we go to Belle Fourche to go to that cemetery to honor, well, my dad's father and such. Oh, yes, here's another waterfall from Spearfish Canyon. Yeah, right now. Yeah, we actually have more relatives buried in Belle Fourche than we do anywhere else, so that's basically where we go for Memorial Day weekend. And, you know, we do try to have a good time, you know, every single time. As you can see here, where we were spelunking and taking a look at the waterfalls, and actually, yeah, Dad went off the beaten path. I was actually kind of happy with this one because I was worried I wasn't going to be able to use my camera that day because it was raining like cats and dogs on Sunday. No joke. But it did let up, and actually I was able to use my camera at least a couple times. Now, here's a shot that I think I've shown already. The one that I said where I was sick. I'm still feeling a little bit of a cough, and I still have a bit of a stuffy nose, but honestly, neither here nor there. It still hasn't really necessarily stopped me yet, and honestly, I'm feeling a lot better now, so I like to thank you all if you wish me well. And then, of course, also, here's another picture of that cave, which honestly, I think Sarah also wanted to go spelunking down too, and I'm not quite sure. But anyway, either way, it was actually kind of fun to see these falls and take these shots. I don't think they're necessarily perfect. I mean, my dad actually gave me some photogenic advice here, where it's like, you know, every story must tell a picture, and honestly, he's absolutely right. I mean, it should. But this is also where I took a picture, where I also recorded that short of the water, where I slowed it down just a bit too, which, I mean, I don't know if all of you saw that short or not, but I know it has like over 800 views, so I don't even know how that happened. It's probably the only short that I really want to make, but neither here nor there. Oh, and then that's the end of the photo reel. So anyway, what did you guys think about these photos? Let me know down in the comments down below which one's your favorite. Put a timestamp to it. And I'll see you all in the next video. This is Superchocolatemilkshake, signing off.